The Canary Islands. Islas Canarias. Lisbon, Table of Contents.
Dr. Sydney Soclof. Dr. Sydney 22 at gmail.com. 2022. Narration by Dr. Sydney Soclof,
Zoe Phonemes,
and Nathan Koltove. For a more complete discussion of YouTube navigation, please go to this video using the link here.
Chapter 1. Introduction to the Canary Islands.
The Canary Islands. Islas Canarias.
Vamos, cantemos, somos 7 sobre el mismo mar. Siente el latir de un solo pulso, llegó Navidad. Fuerte ventura, dunas y arena, vaga y soledad. Sobre Tinda ya trae el viento arcanos desde el mar. Con un conjuro de libertad, amor, futuro y paz. Por La Gomera silba una estrella, cedro y al rezar, órganos de basalto cantan nuestra unidad. Coge el guarapo y ven a brindar en esta Navidad.
The Canary Islands are a group of islands located in the Atlantic Ocean only 67 miles, 108 kilometers, off the northwestern coast of Africa.
The archipelago consists of 7 major islands, all of which are volcanic in origin, and extend over a distance of about 300 miles.
The Canary Islands or Islas Canarias are an autonomous region or community of Spain with a population of 2 million, making it the 8th most populous of Spain's 17 autonomous communities, with a density of 282 inhabitants per square kilometers.
These are the 17 autonomous communities or regions, Comunidad Autónoma, of Spain.
Another major group of islands that are an autonomous region of Spain are the Balearic Islands in the western Mediterranean, off the eastern coast of Spain. The 4 largest islands are, from largest to smallest, Majorca, Menorca, Ibiza, and Formentera.
Here are the principal tourist areas in Spain. They are mostly along the Mediterranean coast.
The Canary Islands are comprised of 2 provinces, Santa Cruz de Tenerife and Las Palmas, with a total land area of 3,000 square miles, or 7,500 square kilometers, making it a little larger than the U.S. state of Delaware.
Tenerife is the largest and most populous island with approximately 1 million inhabitants. The island of Gran Canaria is the 2nd most populous and 3rd largest.
The 5 largest islands are Tenerife, Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, and La Palma.
The capital and 2nd largest city of the Canary Islands is the city of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. The largest city, and sharing the status of capital since 1927, is Las Palmas de Gran Canaria.
Santa Cruz de Tenerife has a population of 170,000, and Las Palmas has 400,000.
Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, commonly known as Las Palmas, is the capital, jointly with Santa Cruz on Tenerife, and is the most populous city of the Canary Islands.
Here is the population of the principal cities of Spain. Madrid, the capital, is the largest city with over 3 million, and Barcelona is in second place after Madrid. Las Palmas is the 8th largest city in Spain, with a population of 382,000.
Tenerife is the largest and most populous island in Spain. The second largest city in the Canary Islands is Santa Cruz de Tenerife, and nearby San Cristóbal de la Laguna, a World Heritage Site, is the third largest city of the Canary Islands.
Chapter 3. Are there canaries on the Canary Islands?
The name comes from the Latin insularia Canaria, meaning island of the dogs, a name applied originally only to the island of Gran Canaria. The Romans knew of the existence of the islands and named the island Canaria, modern-day Gran Canaria, for canis, dog, an extinct type of large dog that once roamed the island.
The original inhabitants of the island, the Guanches, used to worship dogs, mummified them, and treated dogs generally as holy animals. In ancient times, the island was well known for its people who worshipped dogs there, and when the Romans first visited the island, they gave it the name Canary, which means in Latin, the ones who worship dogs, or the ones with dogs.
The ancient Greeks also knew about a people living far in the west, who are the dog-headed ones, who worship dogs on an island. Some theorize that the Canary Islands dog worship and the ancient Egyptian cult of the dog-headed god Anubis are in close connection, but there is no explanation as to which one was first, and how is it possible for those two far areas to be in contact with each other.
The connection to dogs is retained in their depiction on the Canary Islands flag and
the coat of arms. The 7 peaks represent the volcanic peaks of the 7 major islands that make up the Canary Islands. The ribbon with Oceano represents the location in the Atlantic Ocean, and the crown represents the Kingdom of Spain, of which these islands are an integral part.
The Canary Islands have great natural attractions, climate, and beaches, which makes the islands a major tourist destination, being visited each year by about 12 million people. The islands have a subtropical climate with long hot days in summer and are cool in winter.
Among the islands, Tenerife receives the greatest number of tourists annually, followed by Gran Canaria and Lanzarote. Of the visitors to the islands, about 29% are from the UK, 22% from mainland Spain, and 21% from Germany.
A principal tourist attraction is the Teide National Park on Tenerife, with Mount Teide, the highest mountain in Spain and one of the largest volcanoes in the world.
This park receives almost 3 million visitors a year. The mountain Teide is a World Heritage Site at 12,200 feet or 3,718 meters.
Chapter 4. What time is it in the Canary Islands?
Here are the standard time zones of the world.
The Canary Islands are in the Western European Time Zone, Western European Time, WET. Western European Standard Time equals GMT, and Western European Summer Time equals GMT plus 1.
Chapter 5. The geology of the Canary Islands.
A question. The Canary Islands are way out in the ocean. Where did they come from?
And now some answers.
Where did the Canary Islands come from?
Very deep within the earth is extremely hot molten material called magma.
This liquid magma is under extremely high pressure and flows up through the surface of the earth, through cracks or weak spots in the earth's crust.
Closer to the very center of the earth is a spherical core under such extremely high pressure that it remains solid. This is the inner core of the earth made of nickel and iron.
The liquid magma is the outer core of the earth.
Further out is the mantle, a hot semi-liquid layer.
On the Earth's surface is the solid crust, part of which is land and most is covered by the oceans.
Hot plumes of the molten magma spurt up through cracks in the Earth's crust and form volcanoes.
Hot plumes of the molten magma spurt up through cracks in the Earth's crust and form volcanoes.
These volcanoes occur on land, but even more often deep under the oceans, where they usually escape any notice at all.
There are hot spots under the Earth's crust, where there are large pools of molten magma that can erupt through thin areas of the Earth's crust.
There are a number of these hot spots in the world, including the one below Hawaii. Here are some of the prominent hot spots in the world. Hot spots can also occur below the land surface, as is the case of Yellowstone National Park.
The Canary Islands and the Cape Verde Islands are over hot spots, although Iceland and the Azores are not over hot spots, but have plate boundaries.
This shows a plume of molten magma going up through a crack or weak spot in the mantle and crust of the earth. When the magma reaches the surface, it now is called lava. The lava flow that results cools and solidifies on the ocean floor, forming a submarine mountain.
This shows the resulting submarine mountain after this volcano has become dormant.
In this case, the volcano rises above sea level, forming an island.
This shows the resulting island after this volcano has become dormant.
Besides the Canary Islands, there are several islands of volcanic origin in the Atlantic Ocean. These include the Azores, Madeira, Iceland, Cape Verde Islands, Bermuda, Ascension, and St. Helena.
Chapter 6. The history of the Canary Islands.
Known in ancient times as the Fortunate Islands, and believed to be the western limit of the world. They were visited in the Middle Ages by Arabs, Genoese, Majorcans, Portuguese, and French.
They were taken by the Kingdom of Castile in 1404, and their indigenous inhabitants, the Guanche and Canario, were gradually conquered during the 15th century. The islands became a stop on the usual route for Spanish trading vessels with the New World. Today agriculture is an economic mainstay, as is an expanding tourist trade.
The original inhabitants of the Canaries were the Guanches, a Berber people who were conquered by the Spanish in the 15th century, and are now assimilated into the general population.
The Roman writers Plutarch and Pliny the Elder learned of the Canaries. Pliny writes of them, Canaria, so called from the multitude of dogs of great size.
In 1479 the Treaty of Alcáceres recognizes Spanish sovereignty over the Canary Islands
and Portuguese control of the Azores, Madeira and Cape Verde Islands.
In 1402, the Castilian conquest of the islands began, but was not completed until 1496.
Christopher Columbus replenished all four of his westbound fleets in the Canaries, which became an indispensable Spanish base on sea routes to the Americas.
General Francisco Franco used the Canary Islands as the first base of the nationalist revolt in 1936, and went from there to Spanish Morocco.
Chapter 7. Tenerife.
Tenerife is the largest of the Canary Islands.
The western two-thirds of Tenerife is a vast composite volcanic dome surmounted by Teide Peak, the highest point in Spain at 12,200 feet or 3,718 meters.
The area continues to be the site of volcanic activity. Perhaps the most destructive eruption occurred early in the 18th century, when a lava flow buried much of the town and harbor of Chico, on the northern coast.
This is an authentic photograph taken over 100 years ago in 1909, when Teide last erupted. It shows farmers watching the eruption quite close by. It took place at Chineiro, which is close to Santiago del Teide, on the western side of the island. The lava flow was somehow diverted out of harm's way.
More recently, the volcano Tenerife on the island of La Palma erupted in 1971.
The narrower northeastern part of Tenerife rises sharply to a jagged mountain ridge of volcanic origin, except in the region between San Cristóbal de la Laguna and Santa Cruz, where there is the island's only extensive lowland.
Nearly all the inhabitants of Tenerife live on the lower slopes and within a few miles of the sea. Nearly all the inhabitants of Tenerife live on the lower slopes and within a few miles of the sea. Almost half the population is in, or near, Santa Cruz de Tenerife, the capital, and San Cristóbal de la Laguna, the former capital, now Tenerife's cultural capital and the site of the University of La Laguna established in 1792.
This is a map of the island of Tenerife.
The city of San Cristóbal de la Laguna was added to the UNESCO World Heritage Site list in 1999 because of its stature as the first non-fortified Spanish colonial town.
Most of the island's other inhabitants live on the intensively cultivated slopes, with bananas and vineyards, near the northern coast, where the chief towns are La Orotava, Ica de los Vinos, and Puerto de la Cruz.
Near the southern coast, where the climate is drier, dry farming predominates, and camels are common beasts of burden. There are many small villages in this area, but Güímar is the only town.
The economy of Tenerife is mainly agricultural. Tourism is based on beach resort facilities, especially in Playa de las Americas.
Playa de las Americas is near Las Cristianas on the southeastern corner of Tenerife near the new airport, Reina Sofia Tenerife Sur, or Queen Sofia Tenerife South.
The international airport in Los Rodeos suffered a catastrophic airplane collision, with 582 fatalities, in 1977. That was the deadliest accident in aviation history. This airport was replaced by a new international airport, Queen Sofia Tenerife South, in 1978.
This is the location of the new international airport, Reina Sofia Tenerife Sur.
Chapter 8. Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
This is Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
Santa Cruz de Tenerife is a port city and capital of the island of Tenerife, and of Santa Cruz de Tenerife province, in the Comunidad Autónoma, autonomous community, of the Canary Islands of Spain. Santa Cruz de Tenerife occupies a small plain between two usually waterless ravines. It was founded in 1494.
The British naval hero Captain Horatio Nelson lost his right arm in an unsuccessful assault on Santa Cruz in 1797.
Santa Cruz was designated an incorporated town, with its own coat of arms to represent the bravery of its inhabitants. Santa Cruz became the capital of the Canary Islands shortly thereafter, a title it held until 1927. When it became the co-capital along with Las Palmas de Gran Canaria.
However, Santa Cruz is the permanent seat of the Parliament of the Canary Islands. General Francisco Franco organized in Santa Cruz the national uprising that led to the Spanish Civil War in 1936.
This is a map of Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
A well-planned seafront adjoins a harbor sheltered by two moles. Santa Cruz has become an important oil bunkering port with an oil refinery. The port also serves passenger travel to the other islands.
Here is a closer view of the cruise port in the center of the city.
This is a view of Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
This is a map of Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
This is a map of the central area of Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
Once outside the port gates is a broad and beautiful promenade. It is the Avenida José Antonio Primo de Rivera that goes along the seafront. There is a broad tree-lined pavement on one side, and on the other side there are many shops, cafes, restaurants and nightclubs.
Further along the waterfront and at the heart of the city lies Plaza de España. This is a good place to start exploring the old quarter of Santa Cruz and other attractions.
These include the Archaeological Museum, on Avenida Brava Murillo, the Fine Arts Museum, on Plaza del Príncipe de Asturias, just off the square and containing works by Bruegel.
And the 16th century Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Concepción, the city's oldest church built in 1502. These are all within walking distance.
Close by Plaza de España is the Archaeological Museum and the Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Concepción.
Close by Plaza de España is the Archaeological Museum.
We will next have a short video clip of the Canary Islands and Santa Cruz.
The Canary Isles, belonging to Spain, consist of 7 bigger and 6 smaller islands, spreading over a more than 7,500 square kilometer area in the Atlantic Ocean. Due to their location, the islands have always been an important stage of shipping traffic between Africa, Europe, and America. The biggest island is Tenerife. Its capital city, Santa Cruz, takes turns as capital of the Isles, with Las Palmas on Gran Canaria. In the bed of the Santos Creek, water trickles only 2 months of the year. In fact, lack of water is one of the major problems of the islands, which is being solved by building reservoirs. That's why local people's endeavor to beautify their towns by landscaping and planting alleys deserves credit.
The Museo Militar de Almeida lies opposite the Plaza de España. This military museum contains the cannon, which shot off Admiral Lord Nelson's arm when his fleet attacked the city in 1793.
The Church of San Francisco and the adjacent former convent are two of central Santa Cruz's most important buildings. They both date from the 18th century, and one now houses the Museum of Fine Arts. Behind these buildings is the Plaza del Príncipe, a pleasant city center park.
This shows the location of these points of interest.
This is a satellite view showing the location of these points of interest.
This is the market building in Santa Cruz, the Market of Our Lady of Africa. It is surrounded by a wall that is entered via an archway, and inside stalls fill the courtyard and shops line the outer wall. Canary Islands, table of contents. The whole place is decorated in Moorish pink and white colors, and the square is dominated by the clock tower.
This shows the location of the Plaza de España and the Mercado de Nuestra Señora de Africa.
This is a satellite view showing the location of the Plaza de España and the Mercado de Nuestra Señora de Africa.
The Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Concepción contains a relic of the Santa Cruz de la Conquista, the Holy Cross of the Conquest, after which the city was named.
This shows the location of the Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Concepción with respect to the Plaza de España.
This is a satellite view showing the location of the Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Concepción with respect to the Plaza de España.
The Church of Our Lady of the Concepción was built on the first chapel built by the Spanish conquistadors after the landing on the shores of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. This church is the main temple of the city, which is why it is called the Cathedral of Santa Cruz, although it is actually not a cathedral.
In this church is the image of St. James, the patron saint of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. It also has the image of the Virgen de la Candelaria de Santa Cruz.
We will next have a short video clip about Santa Cruz.
The biggest square of Santa Cruz, the Plaza de España, Spain Square, has also been beautifully parked. The huge group of statues dominating the square commemorates the victims and heroes of the Spanish Civil War. The famous sculptor, Juan Avalos, made the artwork to the order of General Franco. Its main character is an angel symbolizing freedom and a monk drawing the attention of divine powers to the war dead. The monument is guarded by naked giants leaning against their swords. At the beginning of the walking street that starts from the square stands the famous statue of Canove, the triumph of the Virgin of Candelaria, which was created by the famous master in 1788. The Blessed Virgin holds an infant in her right and a candle symbolizing light in her left hand. This is the center of the city, The Parliament, as well as the Iglesia de la Concepcion, which is the oldest church of the city, is very close from here. The Perez Galdós Theatre, with its perfect acoustics, functions as an opera house and a concert hall. The classical building is decorated with Andalusian motifs. The biggest hall of the city is the Fruit and Flower Market, named after the African Our Lady. A flea market is held in front of the marketplace every weekend that could be interesting also for foreign visitors. The facades of old houses are decorated with carved wooden galleries, which are particularly characteristic of the architecture of the island. The capital city is proud of its exotic, exuberant green parks, of which the most beautiful may be the Botanical Garden, named after the former mayor Garcia Sanabria. The flora of the winding promenades is like a jungle. A wide range of plants, from palms to blooming tropical bushes, live here. Floral clocks and fountains are a frequent ornamentation here.
The Auditorio de Tenerife, Auditorium of Tenerife, is one of the major attractions of Tenerife. It was designed by architect Santiago Calatrava Valls. Construction began in 1997 and was completed in 2003.
The Auditorio de Tenerife is located on the Avenue of the Constitution next to the Atlantic Ocean in the southern part of the city.
The majestic profile of the auditorium has become an architectural symbol of the city of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, the island of Tenerife and the Canary Islands. It is also regarded as the finest modern building in the Canary Islands and one of the most emblematic buildings of Spanish architecture.
The Rambla General Franco is a wide boulevard that is a road on either side, and down the middle a strip of land with kiosks every few meters. The kiosks sell everything from newspapers to ice cream to snacks and drinks, and there are benches all along the Rambla too.
This shows the location of the Rambla General Franco.
This is a satellite view, showing the location of the Rambla General Franco, with respect to the Plaza de España and the cruise ship port.
The entire length of the Rambla is lined with bars, cafes, and restaurants of various sizes, styles, and quality. This is one of the major nightlife centers of the city and can be quite busy by day too.
Chapter 9. Attractions of Tenerife. Chapter 10. San Cristobal de la Laguna.
San Cristobal de la Laguna is Tenerife's original capital, and is said to be the most beautiful town on the island.
And is only 5 miles inland, about a €10 cab ride, from Santa Cruz.
San Cristobal de la Laguna, commonly known just as La Laguna, is the third most populous city of the Canary Islands, and the second largest city on Tenerife. It is a suburban area of the city of Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
San Cristobal de la Laguna was the ancient capital of the Canary Islands. La Laguna is physically within the city of Santa Cruz, as both cities and municipalities form a single large urban center.
San Cristobal de la Laguna was founded between 1496 and 1497 by Alonso Fernández de Lugo, and was the capital of the island after the conquest of the islands was completed.
A declining population and economy in the 18th century resulted in the moving of the capital to Santa Cruz de Tenerife in 1723. Santa Cruz has since been the capital of the island of Tenerife.
San Cristobal de la Laguna was named a UNESCO World Cultural and Heritage Site, because it has maintained its highly valued historic center in an exemplary state of conservation,
as well as important monuments and historic buildings. San Cristobal de la Laguna is an important center of commercial activity. The city also has an important university tradition, thus providing the lively and relaxed atmosphere of its countless tascas, traditional bars.
San Cristobal de la Laguna has Tenerife's oldest church, cathedral and university within easy walking distance of each other. In the surrounding area are traditional Canarian restaurants, sleepy coastal villages, and quiet beaches.
San Cristobal de la Laguna is home to the University of La Laguna, founded in 1701, and now home to 30,000 students. La Laguna is considered to be the cultural capital of Canaries, and is called the City of the Anticipated Ones, for having the first university of the archipelago.
La Laguna is also considered the cultural and religious capital, due to the fact that it has the San Fernando University and the Bishop's Palace.
This is Tenerife's first parish church dating from the 16th century, and was declared a historic artistic national monument of Spain in 1948.
The Palace Azaro Rodriguez was built between 1908 and 1909 by the family of Azaro Rodriguez for residential use. This is a good example of eclectic architecture, which highlights the modernist style of the side balconies closed by large windows and iron crystals.
La Laguna is full of outstanding architectural monuments, palaces and traditional houses from the 16th and 17th centuries.
The Plaza del Adelantado is next to the City Hall and Municipal Market.
This is the plaza in San Cristobal de la Laguna.
This is a view of San Cristobal de la Laguna.
The former Convento de San Agustin is located in the town of Tacoma. It consists of a series of buildings located around the square in front, and currently houses the Casa de la Cultura.
Chapter 11. Hop on, hop off bus tour.
A good way to tour San Cristobal de la Laguna is the hop-on, hop-off tour bus. City Sightseeing Santa Cruz de Tenerife offers a tour of 1 hour, 15 minutes duration. The starting point is the Plaza de Espina, and the buses come by every 25 minutes.
These open-top buses operate every day. The tour has 13 stops, and will take in all the main sites in the capital beginning at the Plaza de Espina. You can hop on and off the tour bus along the route at your convenience.
The tour includes stops near Our Lady of Africa City Market, Garcia Sanabria Park, the Ramblas, Plaza Pedro Schwartz, and the Tenerife Auditorium. It will also pass the city's cruise terminal, where almost 500,000 passengers arrive each year.
Stop number 3 is close to Puerto Crucero, the cruise ship port.
Chapter 12. Puerto de la Cruz. The main tourist resort on the north side of the island is the coastal town of Puerto de la Cruz.
Puerto de la Cruz is 23 miles, 37 kilometers, west of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, and 2 miles, 4 kilometers, from La Orotava.
Here are some typical houses in Puerto de la Cruz.
The famous botanical gardens in Puerto de la Cruz were founded in 1788 by King Carlos III of Spain as a stopover for the hundreds of plant species brought over from America, Asia and Africa.
These gardens have become a sort of acclimatization garden for many of these delicate species from other climates. Although many did not survive, there are still more than 4,000 species, some of them grown to incredible proportions, such as the massive Causapoid palm,
or the palo borracho, drunken log, also from South America. The garden has a Canarian flora herbarium and develops different investigation programs.
A major attraction near Puerto de la Cruz is Loro Parque.
Loro Parque is a wildlife-themed park in the foothills of El Teide, which contains one of the world's largest collections of parrots. It also has aquaria, dolphin pools, sea lions, an underwater tunnel, a bat cave, a Gambian market and a Thai village.
Loro Parque is a popular park with 1.5 million visitors each year. It showcases hundreds of colorful parrots and other tropical birds. It is located in Puerto de la Cruz and houses, among other species, a parrot collection with 4,000 specimens.
The parrot collection of Loro Parque is claimed to be the largest and most diverse collection of parrots in the world, and this makes the park one of the places for the study and conservation of parrots worldwide.
Entrance costs around €20, but you can get a free train ride there and from the center of Puerto de la Cruz, Avenida de Venezuela, to the east of Plaza del Charco. The yellow tourist trains run every 20 minutes.
Other records the park has set include Europe's largest dolphin show pool, the world's largest indoor penguin exhibition, the longest shark tunnel in Europe, the largest Thai village outside Thailand, and is only the second place in a European country to house orcas.
The other creatures on display in the park are chimpanzees, sea lions, gorillas, marmosets, pelicans, iguanas, alligators, flamingos, jaguars, giant tortoises, tigers, exotic fish, piranhas, seahorses, and various sharks. For visitors interested in plants, there is a large orchid garden with very rare plants.
Shows in the park include sea lions, 5 times a day, dolphins, 4 times, parrots, the Loro show 6 times, Nature Vision, an indoor cinema playing a 20-minute long film 9 times, and the Orca show, 3 times.
Chapter 13. Parque Nacional Las Cañadas del Teide.
The Parque Nacional Las Cañadas del Teide has strange volcanic rock formations and spectacular scenery. The park surrounds Mount Teide, an active volcano and the highest peak in Spain.
Mount Teide, or, in Spanish, Pico del Teide, on Tenerife, is an active volcano that last erupted in 1909.
Pico del Teide is the highest elevation of Spain and the islands of the Atlantic. It is also the third largest volcano in the world as measured from its base.
The volcano and its surroundings comprise the Teide National Park, Parque Nacional del Teide in Spanish. The park has an area of 18,900 hectares and was named a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2007. It has also been named one of the 12 treasures of Spain, Midway up the mountain are the telescopes of the Observatorio del Teide.
El Teide is a volcano of Vesuvius type. At 3,718 meters above sea level, and approximately 7,500 meters above the floor of the Atlantic Ocean, it is the highest mountain in Spain, highest point in the Atlantic Ocean, and the 13th highest mountain in the European Union, excluding the Alps. Teide is unstable and has been designated as one of the Earth's 16-decade volcanoes, because of its history of destructive eruptions and its proximity to several large towns.
We will next have a short video clip about El Teide in the Canary Islands.
The 3,718-meter-high Pico del Teide is the highest mountain not only in Tenerife, but in all of Spain. Its snow-capped peak has always been an astonishing view above the tropical landscape and palm trees. It's of scientific interest that Halley's Comet was discovered by a French astronomer with a telescope set on the Pico del Teide. It must have been very difficult to set up an observatory here, since until 1975 only donkeys were used here for cargo transport. The high-quality blacktop was built at that time. We're still far away from the peak, but the serpentine up there offers an amazing view. The bottom of the sky around is wreathed by characteristic African clouds, while the island of Güímar is enshrouded in the fog in the distance. At our feet, we can see the Cañadas Canyon. It is, actually, the place of a crumbled ancient mountain that exploded due to a volcanic eruption before the formation of Teide. The walls of the 45-kilometer-wide crater are 400 to 500 meters high. The clouds, blown by trade winds, hit the mountainside and warm up, forming precipitation. Therefore, on the right side of the island, the sky is often cloudy, while on the left side, we can calmly take pleasure in the sunshine. Snow melts only in the hottest summer months on Teide. Even the wind is stronger than down. Those who go there should take shoes and warm clothes to this excursion. Moreover, sometimes non-skid chain is also necessary for the car. Teide National Park was opened in 1954. Since then, a park guard and a mountain rescue team have been operating here. We can go by car to the 2,356-meter-high Los Roquillos. From that point, a cable railway takes over. When the weather is nice, the 2.5-kilometer-long journey can be taken in cabins for 33 people. In the thin air of the mountain station, there is only a 163-meter-long walk to the peak. The Valle de Ucanca Plateau on the way down the mountain is a lunar landscape. Spanish and American filmmakers shot westerns and fantastic films.
Chapter 14. Tenerife Zoo Monkey Park in Los Cristianos has many animals to see, but their specialty is the monkey park. There's also an adjacent camel park where you can have a ride too.
The Tenerife Zoo Monkey Park in Los Cristianos is in the southwestern part of Tenerife.
This is the entrance to the Tenerife Zoo Monkey Park.
This is a monkey in the Tenerife Zoo Monkey Park.
The camel park is near the zoo in Los Cristianos and offers camel rides. The ride lasts for about 1 hour around the fields that surrounded the farm.
The camel park is open daily from around 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. with a free bus service from both Los Cristianos and Playa de las Americas.
Chapter 15. The Villa de la Orotava, population 36,042, lies on the banana plantations of the valley of the same name.
The town of Orotava is a traditional city that was declared a National Historical and Cultural Monument, and lies on the extensive unique banana plantations of the Orotava Valley, below Mount Teide.
The Orotava Valley lies between Mount Teide and the northern coast of the island.
Orotava has magnificent buildings, characterized by well-shaded Canarian patios, squares and old houses.
The House of the Balconies, or Casa de los Balcones, is the best example of Tenerife's traditional architecture, and an architectural jewel of the 17th century.
The old historic center of La Orotava has been declared a monument of artistic national interest. The Concepcion Parish Church is also a national monument.
Chapter 16. Pueblo Chico is a theme park in La Orotava that shows the Canary Island in miniature.
Pueblo Chico has representations of the Canary Islands landscapes and buildings from all the islands, with 61 to 25 scale models.
In the same area are exhibits of the history, art, culture, technology, nature, and leisure activities of the Canary archipelago.
This is a view of Pueblo Chico.
Los Jardín Victoria, or Victoria Gardens, are located in the Plaza of the Constitution in the historic town of La Orotava.
The Victoria Gardens are unique in the Canary Islands. They were built by the French artist Adolphe Coquet in the 19th century in a beautiful eclectic style.
Chapter 17. Taganana is a village in the municipality of Cruz de Tenerife, located in the northeast corner of the island of Tenerife.
Taganana is a village in the municipality of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, located in the northeast corner of the island of Tenerife.
Taganana has 620 inhabitants and is the location of the Church of Our Lady of Las Nieves.
The small church in honor of Nuestra Señora de las Nieves, the Virgin of the Snows, is one of the oldest churches on the island. The wooden image of the Virgen de las Nieves, the Virgin of the Snows, appeared around 1506 on a nearby beach, probably abandoned by a galleon.
Chapter 18. The pyramids of Güímar refer to 6 rectangular pyramid-shaped, terraced structures, built from lava stone without the use of mortar. The structures have been dated to the 19th century.
They are near the town of Güímar, on the island of Tenerife in the Canary Islands.
Local traditions, as well as surviving images, indicate that similar structures could once have been found in many locations on the island. However, over time they have been dismantled and used as a cheap building material. In Güímar itself there were 9 pyramids, only 6 of which survive.
Hotel Teide is situated in Toro Park. The subtropical gardens have a wide variety of trees, shrubs and plants, and cactus from all over the world, growing alongside a variety of endemic flora.
Monte de las Mercedes and the Anaga Massif are famous for the dense forest of leafy laurel forest and the spectacular rocks.
leading to Pico del Ingles, with the best views of the north and south sides of the island. This is the end of part 1. This video is continued in part 2. Lisbon, table of contents.
Thanks for watching.